Hello YouTube and my fellow speakers. I am Brian, the speaker for the dead. I'm doing another video today from the truck. I wanted to do this video because as a follow-up video to the one that I posted yesterday. I know I don't normally post quite so many videos. I'm doing a few extra this week just because of what's happened this week. For those of you who haven't seen my previous video, you should go back and watch it. It was on the first Democratic debate. This is on the second Democratic debate. So buckle up, because yeah, this video might get a little heated, because I just, you know, I don't know if there are any good words to describe the Democratic primary first couple of debates. The only words I can think of are psychotic, deranged, delusional, incompetent, moronic, foolish, and completely out of touch with reality. And those are the good things I can say. I guess one good thing is that the masks are off. I mean, they're showing us finally, after 50 years, that they've all believed this stuff. They've all wanted this stuff. They've finally taken the masks off. They're not pretending anymore that they don't want universal health care. They're not saying that they don't want socialism. Oh no, I don't want that stuff. It's terrible. I'm an American. I'm proud to be an American. I believe in the United States and I love this country. No, I don't. And if you had any questions about that, it was completely 100% on display last night. Because they do not love this country. Because you do not want to transform something you love. Okay? If I love my wife, I don't go to her and say, sweetie, I love you. I think you're the best. I just want to change everything that makes you who you are. Just at a fundamental level. I just want to rework your genetics, completely change your personality, make you part of a different family, take away your history, take away everything that makes you you, because I love you so much. That's insane. Which, that best describes the last two Democratic nominee, whatever you want to call it, debates. I can't wait to see the next ones. I mean, because I didn't see it. I listened to it because I was driving, so I tuned into MS Nutjob BC and listened. The moderators were fawning all over the candidates. There was no appearance of impartiality or journalistic integrity. I mean, gone. Of course, we all know that MSNBC has none of that anyway. So, I mean, no surprise there. But seriously, they're not even pretending. They're not even pretending. They did nothing but lob softball questions at these guys. I mean, just setting them up like, okay, Mr. Buttigieg, being that Donald Trump is an evil, sadistic son of a bitch, how do you think we should change the way America is being perceived around the world? Serious. That was like what the questions were last night. I mean, they all came from a position of, we all know you guys are right, and that you guys have better ideas than Donald Trump or the Republicans. I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent. But to watch these people and the amount of hate. Oh, good Lord, I might have made an okay sign. See, I don't even know what that's all about. All of a sudden I'm hearing that if you use the okay sign, Your white power race, when the hell did that start? Okay, I digress, but I just noticed I'd made a hand gesture that could get me banned and destroyed for being a white supremacist, which I'm not. But I mean, it was just insanity to watch them last night. I mean, the level of hatred is unbelievable. These people hate Donald Trump so bad. It was crazy. I mean, it was worse the second night than it was the first night. They blamed Donald Trump for everything that has ever gone wrong on Earth. He hasn't been alive that long. But you would think, watching them last night, that he is personally standing up north with a gigantic magnifying glass, personally melting the ice caps while shooting every polar bear that comes close to him. I mean, they might as well have said that Donald Trump, he got us out of the Paris Accords, which we had no business being in. That wasn't a real treaty. The Senate never approved it. I mean, we have laws in this country. I know you people don't realize it, but we do. That was something we should never have entered into. And Obama had no power to do it. It's against the Constitution to do what he did. But hey, that never stopped Donald Trump. And these idiots go around praising the Constitution now, pretending like, oh, we love the Constitution. We got to save the Constitution. We got to save America from Donald Trump. But when Obama was in there, they did every unconstitutional thing they could do. The hypocrisy and the level of psychosis is just disturbing. There wasn't one person on that stage last night that stood up and went, hey guys, gals, Republicans are Americans too. Donald Trump's a human being too. We might disagree with him, but if we get elected president, we have to be the president of all the people of the United States, not just Democrats, not just Mexican Americans, not just Black Americans, not just LGBTQ, IFA, PISPO, whatever it is this week, Americans, gay Americans. You're supposed to be the president. You're supposed to be the representatives of all the people in your districts, in your Senate areas. And as the president of the United States, you're supposed to represent all people, not just Democrats. You're supposed to take into consideration the feelings of Republicans who don't want you to do some of this stuff. And they all sat up there just telling us what they were going to do to us. Not one of them stepped back and said, what if they don't want universal health care? What if they don't want government-run health care? What if they want to stay on the insurance programs they have? There was only a couple of them that even said they would allow private insurance. The rest of them, Bernie Sanders being the worst. Now, we'll get rid of it. We will take it away. It is gone. We owe that to the American people. We will do that for the American people. God, his face shake anymore? Ugh. How dare you take away choices from the American people? Who are you to decide what health care I get? It is none of your damn business what health care provider I have. I do not want to be limited by the choices you think I should have. And that's just the beginning. I mean, that's just the beginning of the nightmare stuff they were saying. I encourage you to watch this stuff, to listen to it. It's hard. It's really hard.
No! No!
It reminds me of a joke my buddy told me. There's the smartest man in the world, and he's so smart that he cannot communicate with average, ordinary, everyday people. I apologize if you've heard this joke before. But, and so he went to a doctor, said, "Doc, I'm so smart, I can't relate to people. I mean, my thinking processes are so beyond, I can't have a normal conversation. My vocabulary is too expansive. I can't relate. Is there anything you can do?" And the doctor says, "You know, we're testing a machine that will actually, we connect it to your nervous system, we connect it to your brain, and it shoots a specific type of wave into your brain that slowly reduces IQ. But there's a catch. Once it's done, it can't be undone. So whatever you are, that's where whatever we lower you to, that's where you are. You'll never be able to get smarter again." He says, "So you need to give this some thought." So he goes home, thinks about it overnight, comes back, says, "I want to do it. I want to do it. I bumped into my doorman last night, and I could tell he wanted to run away from me, screaming, because he didn't understand what I was saying. I couldn't even hardly carry on a conversation with him." Okay. So they take him downstairs, and they get him all hooked up to this machine. And starting to go through this process. They turn the machine on real slowly, and the doctor tells him, we're going to start you out slow. We're going to start you out and bring you down slowly, so we don't just wipe you out. And then the guy says, "Okay." So they start him going slowly. Suddenly the doctor gets a call that there's an emergency, that he has to come to the hospital right away. And so he tells the guy, "Okay, it's going real slow. I should be able to take care of this pretty quickly, and I'll be back in just a little bit, and we'll get you disconnected, and you'll be, where roughly do you want to be?" "Oh, whatever the average IQ for the normal human being is, 70, 80, whatever it is. Just I'll leave that to your discretion, Doc. Whatever your IQ is, Doc. That way I'm still smart enough, I can carry on those conversations I want to, but and stuff." So he's like, "Okay." The doctor leaves, runs out, runs to the hospital, takes care of the emergency, gets busy doing paperwork and stuff like that, and suddenly remembers, "Crap, I have the smartest man in the world hooked up to a machine in my office." He runs back to his office, gets there, and bursts open in the door, and the machine's counting down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. He runs over and he pulls the machine, and he pulls the plug on the machine. He runs over to the guy, and he shakes the guy, and he says, "Sir, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm sorry I got hung up. Are you all right?" And the smartest man in the world looks up at him and goes, "That's a big 10-4, good buddy." I love that joke, because I'm a truck driver. But the reason I tell you that joke is, even as a truck driver, which supposedly makes me a not smart person, I felt dumber after watching that last night.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
It was like I got through 3/4 of it, and I turned it off. I'd heard most everything, and just horrendous. Everything they said was wrong, was off, was demented, was unrealistic. I mean, I was like, how is it possible? And I said this in my other video, how is it possible for you to get that many things wrong? I mean, you're not even kind of right. You're wrong. 100% wrong. And just to be clear, I don't think the Republicans are right either. I think they've both sold us out. It's all about power and money and screwing us over, and neither one of them have our best interests at heart. But the Democrats, I mean, It is bizarre how bad they are. I mean, there is no doubt now. What these people, and this is what I want you to take away from this video more than anything else, I say. These people and what they were doing last night, what they were talking about last night, is no different than the people that brought us this. For those of you who don't know your history, you are watching actual footage of Nazi war parades, battle parades, whatever you want to call it. This is what they were talking about last night. That's what it leads to. This is our future. And if you don't think it is, you don't understand history. Because it always starts with this. All of this crap, it starts with this. Generating hate. And that's what they were doing last night. They say Donald Trump generates hate and creates hate and makes hate. No. Donald Trump has never said anything so hateful as what I heard last night. They called him every name in the book, short of swear words. They accused him of every sin that can be attributed to a human being, nearly. And not only them, but the Republicans. I heard that over and over and over again. The Republicans, the Republicans, the Republicans. The only thing they didn't do, as I said in my other video, was burn him in effigy while singing the Soviet national anthem. That was the only thing missing. Bernie's an avowed open socialist. And not one of the Democrats on that stage last night turned to him and went, "We are not socialists. We are not socialists." They all raised their hands to give illegal immigrants free health care. They talked about decriminalizing crossing into the United States illegally. Open borders. My friends, if they accomplish that, it is over. It is over. Any country that does something so stupid is done. There's no way you survive that. None. Cannot be done. Because anybody who wants to can flood into your country. You have no control. There is no restrictions. There's no punishment. There's nothing. They can come at will. They want to reform ICE to make them a welcoming committee, essentially. For every illegal alien coming from anywhere in the world, it will be open season on the United States. We will be overrun from every country on earth where anybody is oppressed. And how do we take care of them all? Especially once they institute their universal, unlimited health care. For all. One of the idiots on the stage last night was talking about universal basic income. $1,000 a month for every citizen over the age of 18 in America for the rest of your life. That's trillions of dollars in a year, over the course of a few short years. Trillions of dollars. Now, I'm not saying I couldn't use an extra $1,000 a month, but who pays for that? Where does that money come from? Somebody asked him, actually somebody did ask him that question. How do you pay for that? And his answer was so ridiculous. Well, if we do this, by spending this $1 trillion, it'll stimulate the economy. It'll push money into our economy from the lowest part up. This isn't trickle-down economics like evil Reagan. This is trickle-up economics.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
What? This idea that you can spend your way into prosperity. I really need to do this in my own personal life. I just need to go into a bank, get a loan for $1 million, lie to them. I mean, get it however I have to, because that's what our politicians are doing. They're just lying. They're just telling us they're going to do one thing, and then they do something else, and they just millions and millions of trillions of dollars down the hole. Nobody ever knows where it went. Why can't I do that? And then I'll just spend it. I'll just spend and spend and spend, and I will be so prosperous. Just ask all the people who've won the lottery, who end up broke, destitute, and worse off than they were before they won.
H.R. 963, motion that from now on all Democrats are officially weird. All in favor?
These people are deranged. They are scary. The only good thing is that they are telling us exactly who they are now. No more fake, no more irrational stuff. The masks are off. Who want to steal freedoms, take away God-given rights, and write new rights in their place that are controlled by the government, because then the government can take them away. They'll control you. They'll control all of us. You don't do what they want? I guess you need that heart medication. Oh, geez. If you just hadn't talked out publicly on YouTube about politics a few years back, we could get you that heart medication. That's where this leads. Control. Manipulation. And like the video I showed you, that's what leads to goose-stepping morons in the street. You'd think we'd learn, but they're generating hate and contention. And with groups like, and they're being backed up by groups like Antifa, who attack people in the street with their faces covered, like thugs and criminals, while they actively talk about taking guns away from law-abiding citizens. If more guns made this country safe, it'd be the safest place on earth. Well, it'd be safer if we didn't have gun-free zones, which is where a lot of this violence happens, where people aren't allowed to defend themselves. They create the problems and then whine about the problems. They create these nightmares and then blame Republicans and anybody but themselves for the nightmares they've created. And then they come up with all new nightmarish programs to fix the nightmares they created. My friends, we've got to get active. We've got to speak out. We've got to stop this nonsense. I'm not a Donald Trump fan. I never have been. I guess people before the election of 2016 would have called me a never-Trumper. I would never have voted for Donald Trump in 2016 because I disagreed with the way the man behaves and acts. In some respects, I still do. But I agree very much with what he's been doing. And I think he loves this country very much. And although he's not a good man, he's been a pretty dang good president. He's not a good man. Don't make that mistake. But he's not an evil man. Nothing like the people that I saw last night. Because he's come out and said this will never be a socialist country. The man makes me like him more every day. I wish he wasn't so brisk and hard to listen to when he gets talking and self-aggrandizing himself. There's just a few things about him that I don't like, and I'm really trying to get over that because I will definitely be voting for him next time. After what I saw last night, not even a question. Not even a question. Because for any problems that I have with him, pales in comparison to the nut jobs that are running against him. Because if any one of them get in, and if they, God forbid, manage to get both houses of Congress, they talked about bipartisanship last night. It was so hilarious. Bipartisanship. And you know what their answer was? How do we work with Republicans? We get rid of Mitch McConnell and we take over the Senate, we take over the House. That's how we work bipartisan. Which means we steamroll over the Republicans or anybody else that gets in our way, conservatives, whoever. That's not working with people. That's steamrolling over them by having a majority. If the Republicans are so evil, why didn't they do that when we had the majorities in both houses and the president? We had the perfect opportunity to do exactly what they're saying they're absolutely going to do to us. Yep, we're the evil ones? We're the sadistic ones? The independents and the people who don't want socialism and Marxism and goon-stepping morons in our streets? I'm not calling these people Nazis because they're not Nazis. They're worse. They're more insipid. The Nazis came out and said what they were. Hitler wrote a book talking about how horrible he was and what a horrible thing he wanted to do. These people try and hide and cloak what they're saying in democratic stuff. Democratic socialism. That's what we need here. Oh, wasn't there another party? It was the National Democratic Socialists? Where was that? Oh yeah, it's the goon-stepping morons, I told you. They were called Nazis. You're just gonna call yourself something else, so you can't be called Nazis. Well, that'll fix it. Let's just put a new coat of paint and change the name. That'll make you not Nazis. You got to watch this stuff. You got to pay attention. You got to get your neighbors to pay attention. Look, I try not to be too overtly political on here because I just want people to know what I believe and what I think. But in this regard, after hearing what I heard last night, there is no way that I can sit quietly. I'm not going to cheerlead Donald Trump, but I'm dang sure going to vote for the man. I'm going to cheerlead saving this country from these nut jobs on the Democratic side that are trying to run for president. And they are all horrible. Horrible beyond belief. There isn't one of them that's a decent human being. I'm sorry. There's no way. There's no way you can be a decent human being and want to do what they want to do. They want to break our laws, destroy our country, overturn our sovereignty, open our borders, overturn everything. Take away our rights, our freedoms, choose our doctors, who we get our prescriptions from. Tell me that isn't Marxist socialism. God save us. Because if America chooses one of these people, I'm moving into the mountains. I mean the mountains. I'm taking my family and because I've thought about it. I've wanted to make those videos of saying, if the Democrat takes away, I'm moving to another country. But there's nowhere to go. This is it. America's the last best hope for Earth. And this is what we have as one of our primary parties in our country. The people who brought you the USSR. You know, they killed millions of their own people. And after what I heard last night and the way they were talking about the Republicans, it is not a very large leap to go from we hate these people and we don't like what they want to do and we're just going to kill them. It's a very small leap from what they were talking about last night and the way they were demonizing Republicans, all Republicans, anybody who supported Trump. get rid of them. Very small leap from what they were saying last night to that. Very small leap. Especially in the minds of these loons that follow these people. Because although they're not saying it, you can trust me, on the internet somewhere, they're saying it. Say your prayers. Live your life righteously. Because, pray for Donald Trump. Pray for the Republicans to wake up and see what they're up against. Because if last night didn't wake the Republicans up, nothing will. They're in the bag. They're in the same party as the Democrats. If there aren't Republicans out denouncing everything that was said last night, any Republican that doesn't denounce all that nightmarish stuff that was said last night should be thrown out of office. Needs to be voted out. Because they are traitors to this country. Every one of those people on that stage saying that stuff were traitors to our country. And how can I say that? Because you are proposing to dismantle the Constitution of the United States, to steal away the freedoms enshrined in there. And if you don't think that's what they were doing last night, you are an idiot. You were not paying attention. Because that's absolutely what they were doing. In open forum, broad daylight, for the whole world to see. Well, friends, we can survive this. We gotta fight back. And I don't mean with our fists, and with bombs or guns or knives. I'm talking vote. Vote. Get out there and drum people up and get them to realize how serious this is. Because it is dead serious. If we fail, I hear this every election cycle. Oh, we don't get this one. Oh, it's over. This is the first time. Hearing what those people said last night, this is the first time I actually believe it. I hope you all have a good day. It's the end of my day, but maybe just the start of yours. I'll be back next time with a video on something other than politics, because I can only handle so much politics. But that doesn't mean I will forget, because I'm going to fight for my values in every video. But my values don't always align with the Republicans, because the Republicans have lost their way too. So, but they're all we've got at the moment. So you got to work with what you have. Hope you guys have a great night, great day, and I will talk to you next time. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends about this channel. Ask them to come take a look. See if they like it. If they don't, they don't. If they do, tell them to subscribe. I'm trying to build this channel into a force for good. And I can only do that with all of your help. So I do ask you for that help, and I thank you for all of the views and the comments and everything that you give me. It is a great thing and a great blessing in my life, and I appreciate it. Have yourselves a great night. See you next time.